Hi first grade friends, this is packet 2 day 4, so let's go ahead and get started with our reading passage. You can follow along with yours while I read this to you. It's called Good Ideas. Let's make the flower bed look prettier, Heather said. Okay, Noah said, how are we going to do that? We can dig up the weeds, Heather said. Noah nodded his head. Good idea, he said. They got to work. Wow, Noah said after a while. We have dug up a lot of weeds. Yes, Heather said. The flower bed looks much prettier now. It sure does, Noah said. Now let's go get a drink of water. Good idea, Heather said. They sat at the kitchen table. Heather drank some of her water. Then she sat her glass down. Now let's make the kitchen look prettier. Okay, Noah said. I have a good idea how. Noah told Heather his idea. Heather laughed. That was my idea too. Let's tell Mom. Mom smiled when she heard their idea. Good idea, she said. So Heather and Noah cut some flowers from the garden. Then they put the flowers in a vase on the kitchen table. So how do Heather and Noah plan to make the flower bed look prettier? If we don't remember, we have to go back to our story. So let's read this first part right here, okay? Let's make the flower bed look prettier, Heather said. Okay, Noah said. How are we going to do that? We can dig up the weeds. So how do they plan to make it look prettier? They're going to dig up the weeds. So let's write that on our line. Make sure that when you going over to this side. Okay. See if I can get it to go over there. No. See if it can go over here now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Make sure that when you have your sentence, you're starting with a capital letter. We're going to say that they plan to make the flower bed prettier by digging up weeds. Now make sure that when you add the ing, you double the consonant at the end. The next one goes, why do Heather and Noah go to the kitchen after they are out in the garden? So we're going to go back to our story, and we're going to start right here. It sure does, Noah said. Now let's go get a drink of water. Good idea, Heather said, and they sat at the kitchen table. So what were they doing at the kitchen? They were getting a drink of water. So you're going to write that in a sentence. Heather and Noah went to the kitchen to get what? A drink of water. What do Heather and Noah want to do once they are in the kitchen? So they're sitting at the kitchen, they're drinking their water. Then she says, Heather drank some of her water, then she sat her glass down. Now let's make the kitchen look prettier. So what did they want to do after they got their water? They wanted to make the kitchen look prettier. So Heather and Noah wanted to make the kitchen look prettier. Again, make sure you have your capital letter and your punctuation at the end. I'm using periods at the end of my sentences. How does Mom respond when Heather and Noah tell her their plan? Let's read. Heather laughed. That was my idea too. Let's tell Mom. So Mom smiled when she heard their idea. So how did she respond? She smiled, and read on in the story. And what else did she do? She smiled and she said, good idea. So I'm going to write, Mom smiled and thought it was a good idea. Last question on this page. What do Heather and Noah put on the kitchen table? Heather and Noah cut some flowers from the garden. Then they put the flowers in a vase on the kitchen table. So what they put on the kitchen table? They put a vase, that's what holds flowers. Put a vase with flowers in it on the kitchen table. Very good. So let's go to the next page. This is our vocabulary on this side. Flower bed is that wild plants that do not belong in a garden, a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a room where food is cooked, a thought or a suggestion, a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers, or a container used to display flowers. So I think it's between a piece of ground where you grow fruit or a plot of soil where flowers are grown. So if you're not sure, you can skip it and go on to the next one. Garden is that wild plants that do not belong in a garden, a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a room where food is cooked, a thought or a suggestion, a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers, a container used to display flowers. Again, I'm not so sure, so I'm going to skip this one, okay? Number 3 is weeds. Wild plants that do not belong in a garden, a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a room where food is cooked, a thought or a suggestion, a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers, or a container used to display flowers. So weeds. Weeds are things that people don't want, so they're wild plants. It's that one. Okay, next one. Kitchen. Is that a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a room where food is cooked, a thought or a suggestion, a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers, a container used to display flowers. A kitchen. What do you guys do in the kitchen? That's where I cook my food. Next one, a vase. A vase is that a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a thought or a suggestion, a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers, or a container to use to display flowers. What did I say? I say that's something that you put flowers in. And idea. Is that a plot of soil where flowers are grown, a thought or a suggestion, or a piece of ground where you grow fruit, vegetables, herbs, or flowers? That's a thought. So now let's go back to the 2 that we didn't know. Those were flower bed and garden. So this one says that it's only where flowers are grown, and this one gives me a whole bunch of things that I can grow there. So I think that because those are my clue words, that I'm going to pick this one for flower bed because it's only where flowers are grown, and this one for garden because in a garden you can grow lots of different things. So for this one, we're going to tell about a time when you made something look nicer than it did before. Did you clean your room, sort through your toy box, organize your bookshelf? How did you feel afterwards? Share your thoughts on the line below. I'm going to only write 1 sentence, and I want all of you to write 3. So we are going to, let me see if I can get my, I'm going to write just 1 sentence, and I want you to write 3. I'm going to say that when I moved into my new house, I put away all of the food and pots in the kitchen. And then I would go on to say how I felt about it. I could say when I did this, I felt happy, I was proud of myself. I want you guys to go on and write 2 more sentences about how you would feel when you put stuff away. Okay, last one for today. This is our math lesson. So this one we are circling what time the clock says. So remember, in these pictures, the hour hand is the one that does not cover the number, and the minute hand is the one that does. So this says 5 o'clock. So we have to pick the words that say that. Is it 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or 6 o'clock? It would be this one. So you're going to circle it. This one, you can read this. This says 11 o'clock. So then you're going to pick the number that's been written out that says 11 o'clock. What's this one? This one says 1 o'clock. So you're going to pick the one that says 1 o'clock. I'm going to stop here because I want you to have some practice on your own, but always remember the little hand is the one that does not cover the number, and the minute hand is the one that does cover the number. So you have to pick the words at the bottom that match the time what the clock says. Again, as always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. I missed you guys and I hope to see you soon. Bye!